Well, Amazon reported its earnings last week and took a big hit because of increased costs related to coronavirus. The CEO, Jeff Bezos, said the company has increased spending on things like worker safety, but there has been some dissent from within the Amazon worker ranks about that very issue. In fact, a vice president at Amazon, Tim Bray, did quit the company in protest over worker conditions. We are joined now by Chris Smalls. He is a lead Amazon protest organizer. In fact, he was let go from the company after protesting at a Staten Island warehouse. We're also joined by our own Alexis Keenan. Chris, thank you for joining us. So these protests seem to be ongoing. There was another wave of them on Friday. And the company is talking about that it is instituting increased safety procedures. What do you think Amazon still needs to do to bring itself up to par?
Well, the number one X factor why I started to raise concerns because the cases in the building haven't been resolved yet. What they need to do is shut down every building that has a case in them and shut it down for cleaning for a minimum of 2 weeks, that 14-day incubation period, just to separate everybody. You can't stop the spread of the virus once it's inside these facilities. So that's what they need to do. Any building that has a positive case needs to be shut down for a minimum of 2 weeks.
Mr. Smalls, good to have you here. Did you hear the news this morning that Tim Bray, Amazon Web Service Vice President, came out against the company saying, and he resigned, quote, remaining an Amazon VP would have meant, in effect, signing off on actions I despise. And he was talking about the targeting of men and women like you who are then getting fired, he says, by Amazon for trying to protect people. What do you think of all this?
Hey, he's absolutely correct. I believe that he didn't want to go down with the company for the things that they've been doing to us. And he's on the right side of the fence right now. So, hats off to him. And I did hear about it early this morning. And, I'm just grateful that people are actually stepping up and having the courage to come out and speak on the wrongdoings of this company, because they have dropped the ball on this. And I guess, doing what he has done at that level, a VP level, that speaks value, and that corroborates the story that I've been telling all along.
Hey, Chris, Alexis Keenan here. I want to ask you about the New York Attorney General, who confirmed with Yahoo Finance still this morning that the office is still investigating, but they said that they did make some preliminary findings in that Amazon safety measures in response to COVID-19, they at one point wrote a letter that NPR got its hands on and said that those measures were so inadequate, possibly, that the company may have violated both federal and state laws. Specifically on the federal side, they talk about OSHA. Have you seen, when you were still working there, any specific violations of OSHA in response to COVID-19?
Well, we were unprotected. I'm not familiar with the OSHA laws, the compliance of them. I didn't have the opportunity to really read those laws or guidelines. I did read into the CDC guidelines at the time, and we weren't in compliance with any of them. As far as I know, we were unprotected. We weren't prepared for the virus. For the entire month of March. That's when I started to raise my concerns, early March. Mid-March, we were in the middle of the pandemic. It was already in New York, and we were still throwing parties in my building in Staten Island. So as far as I'm concerned, we definitely violated some safety violations, and that's the reason why I continue to take further action. And somebody should be held accountable for that, because this should have never happened the way it did.
Hey, Chris, this is Dan Howley. Are you still in communication with the other Amazon protesters, the climate change protesters who kind of came together alongside you guys to really go at the company as far as its reply to the treatment of workers in the factories? And I guess, have you heard anything from Amazon higher ups?
Well, yeah, to answer your first part, absolutely. Actually, Emily Cunningham, she's the one who sent me the article this morning at like 6 in the morning. We're in a different time zone. She's on the West Coast. But me and her and Maricosta and some of the other people that have been retaliated against, we communicate all the time via social media or through conference calls that I orchestrate. It's a very strong alliance that we built, and sort of like a family as well, because we all have one common goal, and we know that this is a giant corporation. We have together we're going to try to do what's right for the employees and speak up on the voiceless. Um, what was your second part again? I'm sorry, I lost track. Can you repeat
If
the second?
if anyone from Amazon has reached out to you from the higher ups.
No, the leaked memo, as far as I'm concerned, stating that I'm not smart or articulate. That's the only communication I received was that. But you know, in response to that, it's never going to be Amazon versus Chris Smalls. It's going to be Amazon versus the people. They got to answer to all of us.
So, Chris, it's Julie again. Sort of related to that, I know one of the protesters' demands has been that Amazon rehire some of the folks who they allegedly fired in retaliation, including yourself. Would you want to go back and work at Amazon after everything that's happened?
Absolutely not. I don't want to work for a company that's been exposed for not caring about people in general. Forget about the fact that they terminated me wrongfully. Um, when that leak memo came out, after putting all the blood, sweat, and tears I did into this company since 2015, opening up 3 major buildings for them, um, you know, finding out that the CEO of this company had that conversation, whether it was his words or the company he has around him, they're having conversations like that about it pretty much left a bad taste in my mouth, and I don't think I will be able to work for them again. I do want to be reinstated to rightfully resign in my own will.
Mr. Smalls, it's Adam again. I'm curious. I wasn't sure. Are you suing Amazon, and what could Jeff Bezos and the company do to make all of this right?
As far as the legal aspects, I can't really get into details yet, but we're waiting on a response from our demand letters, and then the courts are closed right now, so we have to take it step by step. And my legal team, CK Hoffler, she will come out in the public more once we hear back. But right now, we don't know yet. We haven't decided what we're doing. And what can Amazon do to make this right? Take care of their employees, pay all the employees that have been unpaid since the beginning of March up until present day. So we're talking 2 months now. They need to extend the unlimited UPT that they took away on April 30th. They need to be transparent about the amount of cases that are in these buildings. Stop hiding the numbers, because if they're double digits, that means that they're not keeping the employees safe. We don't know what we're dealing with coming into the building. And reinstate everybody that they terminated. Definitely, they terminated people for speaking up on health and safety concerns. That doesn't make sense to me. All these employees, including myself, that been with the company for a number of years. There's no way that we all decided to be insubordinate one day. We spoke up on health and safety concerns that the company didn't provide for us, and all we wanted was some simple, solutions. And we shouldn't have been terminated for that. So they need to reinstate everybody. They need to pay their employees, take care of their employees, make sure that the PPE is provided at all times, and stop lying to the media and the public. These safety guidelines that they implemented now didn't exist in the month of March. They all started after they terminated me on March 30th. They did not start in the month of March. I know they did spend abundance of money, billions of dollars, but that's good. They should have been did that. It didn't exist. It didn't exist before they terminated me. So they need to tell the media and the public the truth. They dropped the ball. They need to apologize. They need to take corrective action so that people feel safe working there.
Chris Smalls, keeping up the pressure on Amazon. He's the lead Amazon protest organizer, joining us from New Jersey there. Thank you, Chris. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Stay
We'll
safe.
be right back.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.